welcome to the channel. Today you join me in the outskirts of Tokyo in a nice kind of like housing estate. Because spring is coming, cherry blossoms are out in full bloom. But the thing I'm actually here for is this shop here. This is Star Road. If you are interested or have been interested in the old Japanese historic cars like the Nissan Fairlady Z or older Skylines, Datsuns, you will know this name very well. Star Road has been around for decades, and they cater to a very specific kind of flavor when it comes to Kyusha, the historic Japanese cars, where they create these kind of resto mods kind of projects for their customers. You know, you'll see stuff like LED lights on these 240Zs. You'll see like much more modern design bumpers and general aero. This is one of their famous demo cars. You can see here it even has the Star Road logo embossed into the lower lip spoiler there. They inject a bit of modern touches to both the engines, the mechanicals, the suspension. They just make it a better car to kind of live with. Of course, these cars are, you know, 50 years old, so any 50-year-old car is going to be a pain to drive around the town and kind of live with. So they make it easier for people to kind of enjoy these older historics, and in the process have developed a very specific style. And we're here today to meet up with Inoue-san, the owner, to kind of talk through what they're doing here today, the cars that they're working on, and maybe we'll get to hear some of these amazing tuned L-series engines and kind of take a look at the work that they're doing here on a day-to-day basis. So we have 4 S30 Fairlady Zs here, so we're able to kind of take a closer look at the work that they do. And as you can see, one thing that these cars tend to lack in is refinement when it comes to dynamics, especially in the rear end. So there's a bunch of companies out there, including the US, where they do these subframe conversions, where you can redesign, re-engineer rather, the rear suspension to make the car perform and usually handle a little bit more power from the tuned engines that these cars run. There's one here that looks like it's been sitting for a while, probably engine out. Interesting bike here. This is such a Japanese style workshop, and a very big one at that. I mean, you can fit at least 9 cars inside the workshop. There's a pair of lifts, and back here looks like a fresh new project that has been taken right down to the bare metal and resprayed in what looks like a very nice metallic blue, which is kind of is a signature color of Star Road. Here on top is another S30 in slightly more basic condition here. It's obviously being stripped down. It's in the process of getting restored and fixed up. Star Road grills. This car is getting a bumper fitted. Very cool stuff. One thing I personally am a big fan of is this car here. It's the KPG C10 Skyline, or just the C10. KPG C10 would be the GTR. This is definitely not a GTR. Engine out, going through a restoration, and it will no doubt be receiving one of Star Road's famous high revving fuel injected L series, and here's one of them here. It's pretty crazy how thin these engines are compared to modern straight sixes. Again, they're very simple motors. I mean, they're also very durable because they have a cast iron block and then a single cam aluminium head. There's a little cool storage area here with a bunch of cars are parked out, and this is better than a museum because he's actually selected the right cars. Check this out. It's so tiny. This is a Suzuki Fronte GX Coupe. So this is a little K car from back in the 70s, mid 70s. I guess when K cars weren't even invented, they were just small cars. That's what Japan was kind of all about, you know, tiny little K trucks and little passenger cars. And of course from there came the sportier versions. And here we have a Honda Z. Again, another little two-seater coupe with funky design from the 70s. This is the hardtop version. And another Fronte here. Slightly different front grille compared to these two models. Very cool stuff, just things you don't see so much. Here's a S31. So this is the 2+2 version, so it's got a longer wheelbase and there's a bit of space in the back. So 2+2 is in reference to the seating arrangement. This is the Star Road demo car, which I hope we can hear or maybe even take out. Strangely enough, they have white plates, so it does not fit or kind of fall under the K car regulations. It's cool to see these cars in such nice condition. I mean, they're obviously been sitting for a while, so they're dusty, but everything else looks pretty good. Okay, so this is Inoue-san from Star Road, and this is the Restoa Up Nanake. So as Inoue-san just told us, this is actually the car that he showed at Tokyo Auto Salon a couple of months ago, and it runs their full new Aero. So it's a redesign on the previous one. It has a new lip spoiler and over fenders, and the rear bumper is also different. So you can see that here. And there's some new things inside the engine that we'll take a look at. We gotta move some cars because, yeah, Japan. What makes this car a little bit different is that it's running sport injection kit. So that one is on 44 millimeter carbs. This is running an injection system, so very smooth, very easy to live with. Pulls the power and the torque easily. That one is a bit more harder to kind of live with, a bit louder, and you have to kind of wait until it warms up before you step on it. Okay, so what actually makes this orange demo car quite special is that it's the complete car package that they offer, or at least they're trying to develop. It's been around for a few years, but the idea is to develop a car that has, you know, the full interior, aircon, a well-tuned engine, a nice, modern aero conversion, and some basic underbody suspension upgrades. As we saw earlier on, the rear has been kind of redone. There's some adjustable arms here in the front, the necessary brake ducting, everything that's needed to actually make this a 1-minute car at Tsukuba. So they're actually testing yesterday in Tsukuba with Akira-san from Chokets, and they managed to get very close to 1 minute. 1 minute, 1 second, 0.3 at the moment. So the goal is to have this car be able to do, the magic 1 minute that everybody's kind of shooting for. And the idea here is to basically prove to people that build 240Zs for the track that, you can actually get a 1 minute car out of something like this. So this is a complete wide body conversion. It has the power, it has the looks, it has the interior, it can be driven on the street. It's easy to live with, but it's able to do 1 minute flat. The current cars that do 1 minute at Tsukuba, S30s, they're stripped out, they have sequentials, they're built for the track. They're not like a complete street car as this is. So that's the idea here. The car weighs 1,200 kilos. Those extra 200 kilos of comfort and sound deadening. He was telling me that there's actually 60 kilos of sound deadening alone in this car. And everybody runs 17-inch wheels with really sticky tires. He sticks with his 15-inch Glow Stars, which are made in partnership with Work Wheels. So I think he's got something cool going. He's basically trying to create the perfect package, perfect S30 package, and it will be cool to see him actually hit the 1 minute mark, which he's very confident in that he's going to be doing it pretty soon, maybe next month. So talking to Inoue-san, he said, if I really want to understand the difference between really well-tuned engine with pretty much the best products there are right now for the L series, I should definitely drive this sport injected one. So fuel injection has a little bit less engine capacity to 3.1 compared to 3.2, but this is a full counterweighted crank, whether this one is just a machined stock base crank. It's very heavy, it takes a while to get going, so response is not as good as it could be. This one is the perfect example of what a really high level S30 can and should be like. It sounds totally different. It sounds like more of a modern car almost. It's pretty crazy what a modern ignition system and injection system will do to it. Okay, so we're in the car with Inoue-san and we're just gonna take a quick test drive just to hear the engine. I mean, we're in very tight bike street, so there should be an opening up here though, because there's a big river that runs through this area. Hopefully we'll have a bit of a chance to hear it. It's got all DEFI gauges, so it looks super modern. Yeah, it gets on cam pretty quick. God, it sounds so good. I mean, there's nothing that sounds like a straight 6, especially naturally aspirated. So good. Okay, we have a tunnel coming. Inoue-san was just explaining that they've actually put 60 kilos of sound deadening in this car when they were building it up 4 years ago, and it's mainly because the owner wanted something comfortable to drive, not something stripped out and very noisy like these older cars tend to be. And sitting in here, you can really tell, like, you almost feel like you're in a modern car where you have that kind of sense of isolation from the outside world. So it definitely makes a difference. And then I was just noticing how smooth and brand new the dashboard looks, and this is a part that Star Road makes themselves. So it's a replica of the Zenki, sorry, actually the Koki dashboard. When you drive it normally, it's just super smooth, easy to shift gears. I think we're proving here that you can actually live in today's world with a 50-year-old car, a 50-year-old car that has that character that made it so special for people back in the day, and those feelings that people kind of miss these days in modern cars. So it's doable. You just have to spend a bunch, because as Inoue was saying, this car's probably worth about 20 million yen right now, so it's about 180,000 US all in all in the various stages of build that it's been through. So yeah, it costs to have fun and play with good stuff. Okay, so we got a chance to take it out first with Inoue-san, and then I jumped behind the wheel to get a sense of what these, 3-liter stroked L series feel like, and I was not disappointed. Of course, it's not the first time I drive an L series. I've driven many different types, from stock 2.4 all the way up to 3.2. Today's car, this is a 3-liter, and as I mentioned before, it's fuel injected, so it has all the kind of modern fail-safe parameters that you would want to have in a car that you spent like 200 grand, close to 200 grand at least, to build and perfect over the years. The thing that really blew me away is the response and the acceleration. I mean, I'm honestly very impressed that the 50-year-old car could pull and put a grin on my face just as much as any modern day sports car will. But the difference is the character, the feel, the noises, just what you get through the seat of your pants and the steering wheel. It's feeding in so much information. Even going on a straight road like this, just along a river, as you can see, you just get a sense for the car, and the sense for why old cars will continue to be the cars that people will build in the future, and resto mods like this are the answer.